doing, guys? Today was a day where I was hoping to get the engine started and adjusting it to get it to idle. But as you can see, carburetor's back off. Now, there's no known issue when it comes to running. I haven't had it. I didn't even have a chance to start the engine up since putting this carburetor back together. What had happened is, like I said at the end of the other video, I didn't have a plug, or I lost the plug for the carburetor bowl. So I went to the hardware store and got a brass one because I thought a brass one would look kind of cool. Match the fittings, match this, match that, whatever. It totally stripped itself out and jammed itself into the body of the carburetor. Don't ask me how that happened. Somehow, some way it did. So I had to take the carburetor off and get the bowl or the bottom portion of the carburetor free. I ended up using a pair of vice grips. I was so angry that I threw it into the garbage. I should not have done that, only because I could have shown you. I went through this a little bit to see it. Yes, some electrical work in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't know. It's in there. It's in there somewhere. I don't know where it went. It must have went all the way down to the bottom. So what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to bore you to death. I got another little plug. It's right here. I'm going to put this together and then mount, just like I did in the end of the video, put the carburetor, mount the carburetor, hook it all back up. Now, there's been a little issue that I've had that I don't know how I missed it, but I did. Somehow, some way, you can see it right there. See, like that little orangey stuff? That's some Durco sealer. There's a hairline crack in that gear case. How I missed it, I don't know. You actually need a magnifying glass in order to see it, but there is a small crack that's about 2 inches long. Starts right where that hump is, and it goes to about right where my finger is, to the tip of my finger. And the reason why I know it's there is because oil that travels up and gets this gear must roll that, slide down on the inside of this case, and it hits that crack, and it very faintly weeps out. Now, I guess I could leave it. It hasn't leaked since I put that Durco sealer on it, but I think what we're going to do is we're going to have to, unfortunately, take this whole thing apart again to fix that crack, because I'm just going to zap it shut with my MIG welder real quick, and I'm going to do it from the inside so you can't see it, but that necessitates taking the tire, the brake, all that crap. Got to dump the brand new expensive oil that I have in the gear case out. So I'm going to put the carburetor back together, mount the carburetor, and then I'm going to start tearing this side of the gear case off, so that way we can fix it. Because I mean, there's just no way. I'm not gonna have that be kind of a half-ass kind of situation. I got to fix it. All right, well, there it is. So let me get this thing done. All right, cool. Carburetor has been reinstalled, reset the jet, cleaned everything, made sure everything's all good, put the new plug in the bottom. So that thing is all set. Well, in theory, that's all set to go. All right, before we go starting up the engine, we're going to fix this. I took my old trusty drain pan, which you've seen me do, I don't know, hundreds of oil changes with, but I want to save the oil, the gear lube that I just put in there. That's like, what, $40 a quart? So I want to save that stuff. So I took the pan and put it through my parts washer, and then I wiped it all out with brake cleaner, so it's squeaky clean. I'm going to go ahead, pop the drain plug, and the top plug to get that thing to drain out. I'll let it probably drain overnight real quick. One of the other things I noticed is this particular bolt right here is leaking. So maybe we can fix that. This side, perfectly clean. A little bit around the little drain hole there, but who cares? That's not where I'm going to drain it to. That's to the fill line. I'm actually going to pull the drain plug right there at the bottom and get that gear lube to drain out. So that way we get the tire off, get the brake, blah, 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 blah. All right, let's watch some gear lube drain out. You've seen me tear these things apart a couple times on the channel, so I'm not going to bore you to death with it. But the drum came right off. I just used my gear puller centered on the shaft, and I just used the teeth to grip this little edge of the drum. It popped right off. I'm going to go ahead and take those four bolts off, take the backing plate off. This brake arm will come with the backing plate, and then we can see where the smeared Durco sealer is. So everything is about 90% clean. I need to clean this off a little bit more, but I got all the black sealer off. Looks pretty good. I just hit it very lightly with my cookie wheel on the die grinder. Where the heck is it? Right there. Very lightly, because you don't want to dig in. Same thing with the cover itself. I put it through the parts washer, and then I just hit it very lightly with the cookie wheel. Now you can see there's a lot of like striations right here. You don't want to, like right there, you can see how that is. You don't want to hit it with the grinder or with the cookie wheel so much so that it takes that off. You want to keep that as much as possible. Now, where's the crack? You can just see it right there. See if I can get the light. Yep, right there. Isn't that super weird? You might say, well, maybe it was from water, and it's like, well, it's so high up, this thing would have to be filled with water, which it didn't have any signs that it was, but it's a pretty good crack. It's like starts about, let's see, I'd say it starts about right there, goes to about right there. So what's that, maybe about 4 inches. So I'm gonna clean this up, and then I'm gonna make a groove right in the crack with the die grinder. And then we'll heat it up with the torch, and we're just gonna lightly little stitch it all back together right there and see if we can get that thing to seal up a little bit better. It's kind of unfortunate, but I mean, it doesn't have any like major damage or anything like that. And this is all factory. I don't know, it's just a crack. You can see it right there. And if we turn this over without breaking it, you can see where I have the sealer itself. So I'm gonna get all that sealer off and get that out of the way, and then we're just going to go right across it. And there's no other areas of weepage, so it's just, maybe it was there since day one. I don't know, but we're going to try and attempt to fix that, so that way we don't have that problem any longer. All right, let me get this thing, let me get this sealer off, and then we'll get going. Oh, I'm actually going to wash this thing really good too. So let me get that sealer off, and let's get this washed and set, and then we'll set it up. Using my magnifying glass, my reading glasses, and a flashlight, I was able to trace where that crack is, or where the 3 cracks are. And you can see them now with the pen. I tried to make sure the crack was like right in the center of the pen, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my die grinder and kind of grind a little trench right where the crack is. Not obviously all the way through. There's no way. I'm not, you know what I mean? I just want to just cover the top of the crack with some weld. And then I think what I'm going to do, I might do this. I'm going to have to think about it overnight tonight, but I might go ahead and just take some body lead, tin it and body lead this after I weld it to try to seal it up, so that way it doesn't leak. But you can see I got the crack pretty much right where I want it in the pen, or I should say I got the pen just about right where I want it. So unfortunate, like it's, I don't know why it cracked right there, but you can just barely see that hairline crack. And there's where that little jump in the crack is. It's right there. So let's see, we'll go right over, and sure enough, there it is right there. Little whip-de-doo in the crack. But all right, well, we will tackle this in the morning. All right, next day, we're back in the shop. We'll get the truck out of here. We got the gear case all ready to go. Got a little bit of coffee right here. And hopefully this will all work out, but soon to tell. with the crack marked out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this very thin die grinder wheel, and I'm just going to gingerly hog a trench right along that crack. I'm using the black line as my, I guess my template to follow. Not going to go crazy. Just want a light little trench here, so that way when I take the welder, I got like a little bit of area, a little bit more surface area to fill in. And then we're just going to do it really slow. I'm going to heat this up with the torch to get this warm, just so it expands a little bit, and I could just kind of zap, 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 zap it all the way through. And then I might buff it down. The real good thing is there's nothing right here. So if the weld is just a little bit proud over the surface, we're safe, because this is the side that that goes towards the weld, so we should be in good shape. All right, let me go ahead and just hog this out, and I'll show you what it looks like. So there's the little trench. I do have my MIG welder set up. I'm going to warm it up with the torch here, and I'm just going to very slowly stitch this back together. I'll probably start here, and then I'll go over to here. I don't want to overheat this too much, just want to just kind of melt the surface back together. So let me go ahead and do that, and we'll see what the damage report is. The first weld is done. It came out pretty good, just took my time. You know, obviously I had to burn off some oil that was in the crack, and this thing is, and I used my heat gun right there. Nothing got over 200 degrees. I mean, it was like 180 or something like that. So I made sure that nothing got too hot. These little black lines are little touch-up areas, so I want to touch up right here, touch up on this side, touch up right there, touch right there, and then touch right, oh, I don't even think you were in the camera, sorry. The lines are just telling me where I want to touch up. I took a look at it. If we take a look at the weld itself versus the crack on the other side, I don't want to drop this. You can see where the crack is kind of showing. I verified that all the little ends, even right there, you can see where it kind of migrates in two directions. I made sure visually that the weld covered all the cracks. Even though it might be going up, it's like right underneath this weld. And this weld is, you can touch it now. So I'm going to go ahead, just touch it up, and then I'm going to buff it down with the die grinder and a sanding disc, and we'll take a look and see what the semi-finished product looks like. And there it is, all buffed down with the die grinder. Looks pretty good. Now you can see the edges of the weld, obviously, because that's weld, and the other material is cast iron, but overall it looks really good. Now there might be a pinhole here and there that may leak oil, hopefully not, but for the most part that is all set. If we turn it around, you can kind of see the crack more than before, but I think that's only because it was baking a bunch of crap and that was in that crack out. But we got that thing fully welded and repaired on the inside. I think the only other thing I may do is I may go ahead and clean this really well. I'm going to wash it out with soap and water, then clean this, because you can see there's right there's a whole bunch of grinding dust right there. But I think what I'm going to do is, once I get it all good and clean, wipe it down with brake cleaner, I'm going to put a light coat of Durco sealer over this, so hopefully it won't, those little tiny pinholes that may exist will be gone. So let me just make one comment here. I already know that this is not a sufficient fix for cast iron. It's completely not what you're supposed to do. But for this kind of repair, I've done it on RJ35 gear cases and other I've even welded cast iron engines together that had a blown rod through the block or something like that. And this is more than sufficient to do what we need to do. Now, is this a structural repair? Like, was this like a actual structural piece, or this area was a structural piece? Because really the structural piece of this unit are these webbings, which are in mint shape. Probably not. So keep that in mind, but this is an easy way to fix cast iron if you have a minor repair required. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Next, you've seen me put this stuff together at least 4 times on the channels. We're not going to do it. I'm not going to bore you to death putting this thing back together, but I'm going to get this all back together. And in theory, in the next video, we should be able to start this thing up. Hopefully it will idle, and we might be able to take it on its maiden voyage. All right, guys, thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, until the next video or the next project, you have a great day.